Howdy, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. I am here to do, drumroll please, the tarot astrology for this upcoming full moon that is occurring in approximately 9 hours. I know I'm a little bit late in getting this video out, but getting this video out, I will. Okay, so before I even begin to get into the energies, let me just say thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you if you're returning. Thank you if you're brand new. Welcome. Thank you to those of you who have come over from my other channel, Solara Speaks. Thank you to those of you here who've made it, who've helped me get to 1K subscribers on this channel. And a big shout out to those of you who are coming over from Solara Speaks who have gotten me today to 8K. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love and all your support. And most importantly, thank you for doing the hard work that, you know, I say it all the time, it opens dimensional doorways for all of us to rise. So thank you. If you're new in these parts, tarot astrology is the art of breaking down the astrology, whether it's a collective or a personal energy, utilizing the power of the tarot. So I'm not a traditional astrologer. I'm not trained in that area, at least not in this lifetime, although I have multiple lifetimes of doing this. But I do utilize the power of tarot to delve into astrology, okay? Quick housekeeping announcement. I want to thank all of you guys who took advantage of the June offers for tarot astrology readings and love readings. I'm extending that just for 2 more days because it's a holiday in the US. I'm getting in the spirit of that, so I'm going to extend that June offer until Tuesday, July the 4th, the end of Tuesday, July the 4th, after which the prices will go back to normal. Anyone who chooses to book and pay before Tuesday, even if I can't get you the reading straight away, you're going to lock in that price. So you can head over to my website. All the information about who I am and my services are on my website, and the information will be in the description box below. It is simply Solara with an H .info. Okay, so let me pull up this chart. Let's get into this because I've been so excited about breaking down the energies of this this moon. And the reason for that is because at 11 degrees Cancer, the sun being at 11 degrees Cancer when the moon reaches her fullness, that is a fixed star of Sirius. So this is a major energetic gateway that has been opening, and it feels like it's reaching a very critical point, and it's also assisting the doors that are opening by way of the 777 portal, which is going to follow this full moon in 4 days, so this coming Friday. So not only do we have the sun at 11 degrees, but of course we have, because it's a new moon, we have the moon at 11 degrees too, but the moon is at 11 degrees Capricorn, okay? So we have 11 energy. You guys catching the theme here? Okay, so 11 energy, and not only that, if you are in the same part of the world as I am, which I'm under British Standard Time, this full moon is reaching its fullness at 11:38 in the morning. More 11 energy. Are you guys, getting some kind of a pattern here yet? Furthermore, we've got Venus and Mars both still in Leo and just 3 degrees apart. They won't come together while they're in Leo this time around, but they're close enough to be having a conversation. So we've got four planets or bodies that are representing this masculine and this feminine energy in conversation right now. And so what is that all about? Well, the new moon in Gemini that just occurred 2 weeks ago was all about the welcoming of new divine contracts. It was about accessing the gates of Eden and choosing now whether we're going to walk through or whether we're going to, choose to stay in older energies. And this full moon in Capricorn is further bolstering that energy. And this is we've entered through the new moon in Gemini because it's lover's energy, because it's gates of Eden energy. We have entered a new grand union window. So this is the energy of divine masculine and divine feminine energies uniting within, and people coming into union in real time physically, whether they're coming into union by meeting for the first time, whether they're coming into union, deeper into union, and they've been together. These energies are facilitating the return to our ability to love one another divinely, and it's beautiful. Okay, and I'm here for it. So this let's begin with some of these energies. So with the 11 degrees Cancer, the sun in 11 degrees Cancer, the Cancerian energy is depicted or denoted in the tarot with the Chariot card. And we are in the year of the Chariot because the Chariot is the number 7 card of the tarot, and 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3, breaks down to 7. So we're in a number 7 year numerologically, which is represented by the Chariot and the Tower. So this is a year where we have the ability, should we choose to take it, to rise into a position where we can access our light bodies and be able to reconnect with our multidimensional cosmological truth. Something that we have not been able to do as a collective. There have been few beings that have done that in the past. We call them ascended masters. But this is the first time in Earth's history, and I don't know how long, that we're actually able to do this as a collective. We're able to ascend above and beyond the prison templates of the matrix and access who we are divinely and bring it here on Earth. We are able to birth our I am truths, which is the Aries energy, or who God says you are, this incarnation. We are able to birth this through our energy fields and be that here on Earth. That's what Jesus did, y'all. He was able to access his multidimensional abilities, and he used that for miracle working. He used that for healing. So now we are able to do that if we are able to connect to the truth of our heart frequency, which is what the Cancer energy is here to do, and this full moon is here to facilitate. If you've been paying attention to any videos I've done previously here in Cancer season, or the videos I've done on Solar Speaks about Cancer season, then you'll know that I consider this Cancer energy the bridging of the gap between mind and heart. Okay, it's the bridging of the gap because Cancerian energy is the waters of the womb. It's where we receive the programming we need to tune ourselves into our greatness. Okay, and everything in this matrix program, because it's a false mother program, and all energies ultimately must come through the womb, which is feminine energy. They utilize the power of feminine energy to birth chaos and dysfunction by way of the false mother systems of the matrix, in the sense that they created a system where mothers were taught ultimately to wound their children, taught to harm their children in order to begin planting the seed of woundedness that was needed in order to later on exploit childhood wounds, because that's what the matrix system was ultimately run on. It was run on wounding children and then perpetuating the cycle of wounding by keeping us, our inner child, wounded. So we're ever chasing things that are out of alignment with our heart's truth, because we're constantly trying to prove ourselves, because we don't know who we are, because we haven't learned who we are from our mothers, because they didn't learn who they were from their mothers, and because the system was rigged in such a way that motherhood was designed to keep us away from our divine truth. You see, the Cancerian energy is connected to the divine mother. It's the energy that allows us to connect not only with our own emotional truth, but it also helps us to connect with our psychic powers, with our intuition, okay? And every one of us, from the moment that we entered this earth plane, we have been mothered predominantly, but parented in general, taught collectively how not to trust ourselves, how not to listen to our intuition, how not to follow our instinct. And that was very intentional, because if we had from an early age, learned how to trust our own intuitive guidance for self, we would have ultimately been able to access our heart's resonance, our true heart frequency, because that is ultimately what opens our stargate that then gives us access to our interdimensional gifts and cosmological truth and destiny. And at every turn, the Matrix didn't want us to do that. This is what Jesus ultimately was coming to show us how to do. Okay? So, the beautiful thing, back to the tarot astrology, the beautiful thing about this 11 degrees Cancer energy, right, is that, first of all, it is 3 of Cups in the minor arcana. The 11-degree mark is the tarot energy in the minor arcana of the 3 of Cups. It also, 11, is the tarot energy connected to the Justice card, so loosely connected to Libra energy. So this is already showing us there's a balance that is coming into place. And it's a balance of severity, okay? It's a balance that it's not something that can really be messed with. It is written, it is done, it is happening, okay? It's a grand balancing energy, but how and why is it being facilitated? Well, with this sun and this moon, both at 11 degrees, 11, we have the ultimate love story that is unfolding planetarily and cosmically through this full moon, because we've got the sun and the moon both in the signs of the Divine Father and the Divine Mother. So Cancer is the sign in the zodiac through which the Divine Mother is expressed. And Capricorn is a sign in the zodiac through which the Divine Father is expressed. So we've got this Divine Father, Divine Mother rendezvous that is occurring in the skies through this full moon at the 11 mark, that is kind of opening this even bigger doorway for us to come into greater divine balance within self first, but also so we can, like I said, return into divine love with one another. Okay? Now, the sun in Cancer at 11 degrees, how is this balancing also happening? How is it shown in the tarot through the 3 of Cups? Well, the 3 of Cups energy is a 2 of Cups plus another cup. It's the 2 of Cups plus a cup of healing. So it's the two beings coming together who are on the same wavelength, sharing the same emotional resonance. The 2 of Cups, I often tell people, is an energy that when it comes in a love reading, I actually prefer it to the Lovers. And I'll tell you why, because the Lovers will denote a divine contract, but the 2 of Cups will denote two people who are on the same page, whose hearts are in alignment, and who are wanting, the feeling is mutual, and they're wanting to move ahead. So when we enter into the 3 of Cups, and we are just entering into it with the 11 degree, they are receiving the cup that is helping them to move forward. The cup of healing, the cup of love, the cup of the divine blessing. This is an interception of the divine blessing, our ability to come into union with self and with one another, and also giving us an extra cup, the extra cup that is required for us to move forward. So this is what the sun is doing. And not only do we have, this is so interesting to me, because not only do we have this energy of the Cancer and Capricorn, the Divine Mother and Divine Father having this conversation, but we also have them being expressed through the opposite energy. What do I mean by that? Okay, so the sun is a masculine energy. It also could be seen as being Divine Father, Divine Masculine energy. And it's in Cancer, Divine Mother energy. The moon is Divine Feminine or Divine Mother energy, and it's in Capricorn, Divine Father energy. So what this is assisting is this ability for us to be able to really have a level of empathy and understanding of one another that we haven't really been afforded before. So for one thing, internally, what it is that your masculine and your feminine energies are reaching a level of integration that hasn't been possible before this time, because there's a level of understanding of both energies and how they play out in your life. internally, but also for you mentally and emotionally. Okay, but how it's playing out physically is that divine masculine energies, whether they are, gender is not the issue. This is how that the energy that you ascribe to more. Okay, so what it's giving us the opportunity to occur is that divine masculines can understand divine feminines in a way that they haven't been able to before. In other words, they are more in a feeling mode of what it is that the feminine energy has had to go through, especially through this age of having been dominated and, in many ways castigated. And the feminine energy also gets to see what the masculine has had to go through, and how a lot of what they've had to go through has been because of the distortion of their own energy. We are able, in other words, to empathize with one another and see one another and feel one another on a level that up until now, the consciousness didn't promote collectively. So this is a beautiful energy. Now, with the moon in Capricorn at 11 degrees, the moon, Capricorn energy is the devil. Okay, and the 11 degrees again is connected to Libran energy. I did neglect to say also, before I get into that, the 11 degrees in astrology is an Aquarian degree. Okay, so in astrology, it's an Aquarian degree. In tarot, it's connected to Libra energy. Okay, so as such, this Aquarian energy, this again is a grand balancing, the balancing that is required in order for us to move forward and create these new relational templates and the dynamics that are necessary for them as we move into this higher octave of emotional and even mental expression that the age of Aquarius is affording us. Because ultimately, the Aquarian energy is that marriage of mind and heart. It's why the Aquarius emblem is the water bearer. Water is feminine energy. The bearer is the masculine energy that is able to pour out that water. Okay, so it's masculine and feminine energies working together. The mind is air. The heart is water. The mind or air is masculine energy. The heart or emotions or water is feminine energy. So it's a coming together of the two. So these energies are ultimately a huge balancing point that is occurring for the new age, where now it's actually where we've reached a point where it is possible for us to ground into our earthly reality a lot of high octave energies that might have been, you might consider them to be more Neptunian in nature because they've seemed so far and out of reach, something of fairy tales. But the only reason that they were far and out of reach was because we didn't have the collective capacity to ground them in, because we were not in tune enough emotionally and spiritually as a collective. We were so wounded, right, by the systems that we were not able to access our hearts on this level. And right now, we are able to again. So it's beautiful. So back to this moon at 11 degrees Capricorn. That Capricorn energy is the energy of the devil. The 11 degrees, like I said before, is Aquarian in astrology and Libran in tarot. And it is represented by the Three of Pentacles. This is what's happening behind the scenes right now. The moon are the things that are hidden that eventually will also be illuminated. So what's happening behind the scenes? The Three of Pentacles often reminds me of also the things that spirit guides are helping to do behind the scenes. But these are things that are going to have a real-time effect when they come into fruition, probably in another 6 months or so, when the sun is in Capricorn and the moon is in Cancer. Okay, so there is a building that is occurring. There is a collaboration that's beginning to take place in order to make these unions possible on the earth plane materially in real time. Okay, so, and it's being made possible by way of this full moon, because full moons come to relinquish energies, to bring an end and a close to things. And what is what is ending? What is closing? Well, more karmic contracts. But these karmic contracts are of a different nature because we have this 11-11 energy that we're talking about, right? Which is all about, the call of the light worker. It's the twin flame energy. It is the age of Aquarius energy. It is divine union energy. So what karmic contracts are being left behind through this full moon? The karmic contracts that once upon a time were supposed to be your divine unions. So what do I mean by that? I mean, many of you have been on this so-called twin flame journey, and you got through the first phase of the runner chaser thing, and through it you have chosen to alchemize and to heal, utilizing the power of that partnership to rise. Now, if you have a partner who you were assigned and was on that twin flame journey with you, and they have chosen not to utilize the gift and the power of your partnership to alchemize their wounds and rise with you and to jump into a higher timeline now, they are now being moved out of the way. They're being moved out of the way because we have reached a certain pinnacle. It's 3:11 on my clock. We've reached a certain pinnacle in terms of the energies on this ascension where it's go time. It's go time because these divine unions are not just about romance. They are about the contracts you made with one another and Gaia. They come with a mission. They come with a purpose. And it's time now to move into that because it's time for us to start building Three of Pentacles. It's time for us to get the ball rolling in real time. We don't have time anymore for beings who can't make up their minds about whether or not they can find the value in themselves, the divine value that has been planted in themselves enough to want to move forward in that value and grab a hold of you who has already ascended into your value. Okay, so the 11-11 here is also denoting that there are new divine contracts that are opening for those divine masculines and divine feminines that have done the work and are ready to move forward in their new earth missions and purposes, irregardless as to whether their former divine partners or former divine contracts have come into being or not. So in other words, many divine contracts, that were previously divine, have reached a point of expiry where if the person has not chosen to ascend and rise into the newer timeline, then to hold on to that person or that contract would drag you into karma. And we're not going back. We're not descending. We're now ascending. Okay? So another thing that these energies are dealing with is parenting, how we've been parented, how we're looking at parenting, but it's especially looking at the role of the mother because although the moon is in Capricorn, the sun is in Cancer and we're in Cancer season. And this is the season of the Divine Mother. And like I said to you before, it's a season that's very concerned with the waters of the womb and how we've been programmed, specifically by our mothers, who we get our formative emotional resonance from in a myriad of ways, beginning with how our cells divide in utero by way of the instructions that were given through her amniotic fluid and her own emotional history and emotional experiences. So, as such, there are certain energies that are under the microscope. And when I say parenting, I'm not talking about only those of you who are parents. I'm talking about those of you who are here and the parenting experience that has contributed to your own, way of being, thinking, existing, especially relating to others. Okay, so my guides have asked me to go into this energy a little bit, and I'm going to come back out and get back into the chart again. But the divine purpose of parenthood is for our children. Our children are sent to us, okay? I'm going to talk from the perspective of a parent because I am a parent. I am a mother of two beautiful divine souls, okay? When we are given our children come to us with divine instructions, with a purpose for their life, with the gifts, the talents, and the powers that they're going to need to activate to make that real so they can walk in their North Node. And they come with a certain amount of divine value that as parents, our divine contract to our children is to find that value in them, find that treasure that's been hidden in them by the divine, and cultivate it and help them to grow it so that they can go out in the world and be all that they can be. That's the divine plan. So if that's the divine plan, think about it. The matrix at every turn wants parents not to connect with the divine value. They want to create systems and structures whereby they tell you, this is the barometer for how it is you're supposed to behave. This is how you're supposed to be. And because every single being is unique with their own divine purpose and divine instructions, when you try to place them in a system or a situation where they're supposed to measure up to rules that have nothing to do with who they are, they will fail. They will not connect. They will fail to connect with their divine purpose. And this is why at every turn, these matrix systems, the false mother system, has been designed to keep parents from connecting with this truth and therefore keep children from connecting with their divine value and truth, which of course is going to grow as they connect with their joy, because the beauty of your divine purpose, your divine contracts, your divine mission is that it is ultimately what gives you joy, because it's the joy. The joy is the corridor through which your heart It's a corridor through which your heart is able to, your stargate is able to open. Joy is one of the main emotions that gives you access to your stargate when you are living in joy, as opposed to having little bit experiences of it, which I would argue isn't joy. Joy is supposed to be something that is sustainable. Happiness is temporary. Joy is supposed to be who we are. Okay? If we are living in joy, we are not living in states of woundedness. Okay? And if we're not living in states of woundedness, our heart chakras aren't blocked. And our heart chakras are stargates. They're what allow us, again, to connect with our interdimensional realities that draw forth our cosmological gifts, talents, powers, destinies here onto the earth plane, as we are already existing multidimensionally in the cosmos. I hope that makes sense, okay? This moon is doing a number on all relationship dynamics here on the earth that have gone astray and have fallen short of what divine order is supposed to be. Okay, because the truth is, if we're walking in divine order, if we are being parents who draw out the power of our children's gifts, then we are raising adults who are secure enough in themselves to be who they are and to champion and celebrate others who do that too. And that's what the Matrix never wanted, but this is what the Age of Aquarius is about. So as such, the sun and this moon, the 11 degrees, this is the Divine Father and the Divine Mother. They're having a conversation through the Cancer and the Capricorn energy, but through the sun expressing through Cancer and the moon expressing through Capricorn. They're having a conversation. They're having a conversation about what's rolling out now in their own relationship, but they're also having a conversation about what's to come for their children. They're giving us instructions on how to get back on the divine path within self and with one another. They are giving us the instructions. Remember, this is the Cancer energy is all about receiving the instructions that tune us into our greatness. It's the amniotic fluid. And so mother and father are discussing. It's like their birthing plan. They're coming together. This is the plan moving forward. But they're speaking that through us. So right now, whether you're conscious of it or not, you are receiving plans for how you're going to move forward in your divine unions, or as a parent, or in healing your own inner child. You are receiving the instructions you need to rise back into your divine greatness and to take back your power and reaccess your cosmic destiny. It's pretty fucking cool, right? Okay, so Mercury is 14 degrees Cancer. Mercury is how spirit speaks to us. Mercury is spirit. Mercury is how spirit speaks to us and communicates and gives us directions. But Mercury is also how we connect to those multidimensional things that may be invisible in this realm, but Mercury gives us access to those things. Okay, so we're always getting instructions for our path through Mercury. It's why every year, every season, Mercury goes through a retrograde period. We have 4 Mercury retrogrades. Why? Because you've been given, if you've got ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart that inner and overstands, spirit, you are constantly being given divine directions for how it is you should be moving in order to come into alignment with your sun. That then allows you, because your sun is your wholeness and your completeness, that then allows you, and it's also the access to your heart's frequency, and that then allows you to walk in divine alignment and in your north node. So Mercury is here to give you the directions, and every quarter you go through a retrograde period to review and to see if you're on track. And if you're not on track, a lot of the time that's when the craziness of Mercury retrograde can have an effect on you, can have a deeper effect on you. Because a Mercury retrograde, I've talked about this too, is also under a spell, a matrix spell to cause confusion that we've grown and perpetuated through all of this fear we attach to it. But every retrograde is here to help us reflect to get back on track. And Mercury happens so frequently and seasonally, because it literally is a planet that gives us the divine directions we need for every quarter of the year as we move through our lives. So Mercury in Cancer, Mercury is the Magician card in the tarot. Cancer again is the Chariot. So what is Spirit talking to us? What instructions are we being given? We're being given instructions on how to access our light bodies. And at 14 degrees, that is the Temperance card, another card of balance and alchemy. We're being shown how to balance our waters, balance our emotions so that we can enter into states of joy that allow for us to walk in our divine purpose, because our stargates are now open also. The 14-degree mark is, like I said, it's the Temperance card in Tarot. It's Sagittarius energy. It's the card that helps us move spiritually into our expansion. It is the 144 frequency. It's what allows us to live our truth as divine beings. Mercury is speaking to us through this degree about how to further create we're getting the instructions, we're being reprogrammed divinely through Mercury. If we have ears to hear, eyes to see, and hearts that are open to understand and overstand, Mercury is showing us how to access our stargates, ultimately. To put it very simply, that's what Mercury is doing. The 14-degree mark, not for nothing, is a degree of Taurus. And Taurus, energetically speaking through astrology, as far as I'm concerned, is your divine value. So Aries energy is who God says you are in this lifetime. It's your I am truth. Taurus is all the divine resources you have been given access to in order to live this out. It's the Taurus energy that your parents are supposed to tune into and to help you to grow, so that it then becomes the collective, something you give to the collective through Scorpio energy, which the collective can then go and magnify and grow and give back to you. And you can grow again and give back to the collective. Because we're here to utilize our divine value to bless one another and the earth. And we do that through the Scorpio energy, which is connected to collective value, Taurus's sister sign. So the fact that Mercury is at 14 degrees, which is a Taurus degree, is showing us again how Spirit is speaking to us about how our value is interconnected to our emotional resonance, to the messages we've received about who we are and the effects it's had on our emotions, and whether those messages have worked out in our favor. Have we created realities that we like and that we want and that are in divine alignment based upon our emotional programming? Or is there more work to do? Are there things that we need to get unstuck out of still? Because this full moon in Capricorn, I neglected to say this, because Capricorn is to do with material contracts, this full moon is here to release you, to rather let go. I don't like that word release anymore. It's here to help you let go of contracts that have you contracted to suffering. You aren't sent here to suffer. You see, and there's no energy that's bad. It's just how we use it. Every energy has its evolved and shadow state. So the evolved state of the devil is that, yes, you are here to be on the earth in the material plane and to have contracts here on the earth. But you're not here to be bound to those contracts. The binding of you to certain material earthly contracts, which is part of the matrix enslavement program, is what has kept you in the past, us all, from being able to ascend and to expand the consciousness of the collective to make that possible. So Mercury is showing us all the ways our emotions have kept us bound in these contracts, bound to the earth, bound to karma, bound to suffering. And it's getting into the real nitty-gritty here, because we've been being shown this since 2020, when there were 4 moons in Cancer. The year opened up with a full moon in Cancer, it closed with a full moon in Cancer. We had 2 new moons in Cancer. The nodes were in Cancer and Capricorn up until the fall of 2020. And there were, I think, 2 eclipses that year. We started off, the full moon was an eclipse, and I think there was an eclipse in the summertime too, in that Cancer energy. Okay, so the momentum of this energy really began to pick up pace in 2020. It's time. It's time to let go of these contracts and these energies that have emotionally stymied and stifled you to the point where you're not able to be who you are divinely, because you've been wounded, and that wounding constantly has you attaching yourself to more wounding that creates more wounding, that gets you more stuck, that creates more suffering. It's time for that to stop. It's time for you to clean yourselves up. It's time for you to clean up your bloodlines. It's time for you to remove yourself from people who don't want to do that. It's time. And so now here we are in 2023, and this is, if we've done the work, this is like the nitty gritty. We're getting into the nitty gritty of dealing with these karmic attachments that still have a hold on our emotions, or that are trying to grab a hold of us and take us back by way of influence in the fluids, which is another form of emotional manipulation. So that's a very real energy right now. A lot of these older energies that are sensing that it's time for you to move the fuck on and leave them behind because they haven't chosen to jump timelines with you. They are trying to get into your waters. Whether it's through like emotions, because many of them are heavy in regret, or whether it's through your dreams, there is this emotional pull of these old energies wanting to take us back right now. And at every turn, we're to stand up and to say no. No, no, no. I'm cutting off all attachments, all heart attachments to things that have kept me in suffering, or want to drag me back into suffering, or want to drag me back into devil energies, into contracts where I'm bound. Because anytime you're not living in the fullness of joy, in divine alignment, and walking in your divine truth, in some way you probably are bound. So there's no more time for binding. We refuse to be bound by anyone for any reason. So at this point, many of us, the ones who we thought were our divine partners, for example, they sacrificed us for the matrix. And so now it's time for you to sacrifice, or time for us to sacrifice those contracts for the new earth, for something higher, for something greater, for the true and you'll be supported in that, because you honored why you're here to begin with. Whereas they're going to have to deal with the karma of squandering not only you, but squandering a divine gift, because that's what you are and that's what the union was supposed to be, and also squandering and forfeiting the mission that their own souls signed them up for in order for them to ascend. It's one of the highest forms of self-rejection, and right now, it's not a time for us to in any way try to reconnect ourselves or recontract ourselves with these beings who've had the same amount of time and the same access to healing that all of us have had. So, back to Mercury at 14 degrees in Cancer. We're being shown where there are still places within us emotionally that are connected with the old contracts. We're being shown that so we can actually let go. But this Mercury in Cancer is also allowing us to have conversations, deep conversations of the heart and our emotions that a lot of the time it wasn't possible for us to do before, because we didn't have the emotional resonance or the emotional intelligence that supported our ability to do that. And what I mean is, it's not that you couldn't speak it, you weren't supported in it. This is a new energy. This is a new energy. And as such, you as divine beings, you who've been told you're too sensitive, you're too much, and yada, 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 there's a whole bunch of people that are waiting for you, that are wanting what the Matrix called weird, or try to devalue at every turn. You are the new value of the new earth. I was out and about a few weeks ago, and I saw it on a bus stop. It was like, empaths wanted. Literally, that was the hiring notice. Empaths wanted. You guys are a high commodity. You guys who are empaths and have done the healing that enables you to healthily connect with other people. You are the new earth currency. It's really what it is. Okay? So, Venus is at 22 degrees Leo, a master number. So we're mastering something here. 22 is partnerships, for one thing. Venus is a planet of love, of luxury, of pleasure, of art and creativity. It's a planet of material. It's like the material manifestation of Neptunian energy is how I like to see it. Okay? So what are we learning here? Venus and Mars have been in Leo, helping us to recover the pieces of self we've lost through the constant cycling through childhood wounding that the entirety of the Matrix was founded upon. So now we're getting a master lesson with Venus in 22 degrees and the Sun and the Moon at 11:11, also master degrees. This is a master lesson right now. In other words, this is a time of mastery, hence the reason why you must sacrifice the contracts that no longer are going to take you into the new earth, because either you're going to choose mastery or you're going to choose another karmic cycle. And as I was speaking to a very, very beautiful and wise soul earlier on, some people who are descending at this point are choosing a karmic cycle. They're not going to get out of that again. You see, we've been given so many opportunities on this ascension to rise out of karmic contracts, but there comes a point where certain people, when they've chosen it time and time again, they lock themselves into those energies with no way to get out. And with this kind of energy we're dealing with astrologically, with all of these degrees that are dealing with mastery, this would be a pivotal turning point in the ascension where literally the doors to the ark are closed. Okay? They're closed. For some people, they will never recover their divine glory in this lifetime, and some not even in any other lifetimes, because some of them, at the end of this, some will be being returned to source for their energy to be recycled. But that's a whole other story. So Venus is at 22 degrees, and that is a degree of, wait for it, I've got it, It's 10. It's Capricorn. I thought so. 22 is a degree of Capricorn. So here we have that Capricorn energy showing up again. Showing up again. So it is, this is a Seven of Wands energy. So Venus and Mars are both in Seven of Wands energy. This is about now, you know, having been shown throughout this time that Venus and Mars have been in Leo, we've been being shown how to fight to recover the fullness of our light that has been lost through this perpetual childhood wounding cycles that we've all had to endure in the matrix. That's what it's been about. But once we reach the 20 degrees of Leo for Venus and Mars, it begins to be about now protecting that. So this is the reason why I say to many of you that if you had divine contracts that have now turned karmic, part of protecting your own inner child and your own light is moving forward and severing yourself out of those situations once and for all, to open yourself up to new divine contracts. A lot of the time, higher divine contracts where your light gets to grow, gets to expand, and your inner child is naturally protected in those unions. So this is the mastery number that Venus is helping us with. Okay? The Mars energy again is fighting again. It's going ahead of Venus to fight for our protection. And Mars is going ahead and it's going to continue to go into Virgo to continue to establish our liberation, because that's what the Virgo energy is about, the liberation that comes by way of us accessing our heart's truth in Leo and then being able to merge the energies of mind and heart and walk in fullness and authenticity. Mars will be going ahead to Virgo to begin to secure that, while Venus is going to go back in retrograde through Leo to help us again review where it is that we still may need to do some work. And also not only review where we may need to do some work, but it's also an energy that's going to assist many of you who are already coming into union to help one another in the mirroring and the reflecting of childhood wounds. In other words, when you come together, now you're going to have to deal with learning how to love a person who has childhood wounds too. You're going to have to learn to see them. I often tell people that the most important thing in a divine union is ultimately going to be whether your inner children can mesh. Because that's what we're going to be doing in this leg of union, is because we've all been so damaged by the matrix, and it's our inner children that have been damaged the most. Our ability to connect with one another's inner child, that's what's going to be so important. And when you look at it, really, every relationship that has failed has been because of inner child wounds. So it's a really important thing as we move forward that we learn how to honor the inner child, our own inner child and the inner child in our divine partners. Like, it's really important that they're able to see one another and to play and to alchemize and to work through things together. Okay, so that's what Venus is also assisting by going retrograde. Those of you who are coming into union, Venus will be assisting you or giving you the energies, because it's not only while Venus is in retrograde. Understand and overstand that these energies that are opening, they do stay, you know, so they are there to help all of us when we come into divine union to be able to love one another from the place of our own inner children, and to continue to facilitate the healing of that, okay? So we have Jupiter at 9 degrees Taurus. Jupiter at 9 degrees Taurus. And, you know, Jupiter is that energy that connects us again to expansion and our ability to travel. But when I say travel, I'm not talking about packing your suitcase and hopping on a plane. I'm talking about traveling beyond the limitations that have been placed upon you spiritually. That really is what Jupiter is about. You know, a lot of astrology has whistled it down to the way we've been programmed by the matrix, by what life is. But astrology should actually go way deeper than, you know, Jupiter is about travel and money. No, it's not. It's about the expansion of your consciousness so that you're able to access what you need cosmically to live in your truth. Because Jupiter is connected to Sagittarian energy. They are the truth livers. of the zodiac that carry the 144 frequency by way of gematria, Sagittarius. Okay? So with Jupiter, where is our consciousness and our abilities, where are they being expanded? So of course it's our Taurus energy, our value. So again, this moon is helping us to connect with our value in order with the 9 degrees, which is a degree of, in the tarot, is connected to the Hermit card, which is Virgo energy, which is all about liberation and the ability for mind and heart to come together in unison and divine alignment that then gives us liberation from the matrix. Jupiter is helping us to liberate ourselves from the confinements within our own energy fields that have kept us connecting to our own value because of the skewed value systems of the matrix. And this also will translate into money, because money is an energy that ultimately reflects our own personal value. So Jupiter is here helping to expand us in order that we be liberated from these false and these skewed value systems that we have only we've only learned how to move in these systems of value because of how we've been firstly parented and secondly socialized. So you see how the parenting energy is coming up again, the undoing, because your parents' first job divinely is to connect you to your Taurus field, your Taurus energy, your value. That is what their divine contract with you is, to help you find your value. The matrix system skews, like fucks around with that and makes it about education. You must go to the best school and learn a subject that waste your time for 18 years or however long it is that you're in school, learning things that will never be useful to you in real life. And this is what we're here to give you. This is a good start in life. And it's bullshit. That's not what divinely, you know, we can say that's how you get ahead in the matrix. And if that's what you want to do, then, you know, that's what you want to do. But if you're interested in what your divine contract is with your children, your divine contract with your children is to help them connect to their intrinsic divine value, that treasure that's been hidden within them, that they connect to by way of their Taurus energy, the second house. So Jupiter is here to help us connect with that truth and to expand our consciousness and the way we live, so it comes back into alignment with living in ways that reflect our divine value and also the divine value of others and the true value of the earth that we've been blessed with. We've been given on loan while we're here. This is what this Jupiter energy is all about. This energy of this full moon is it's so beautiful. It's so profound. What it's doing. Okay. I'm not going to get into Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto because, like I always tell you guys, those are the slowest moving planets. But I will tell you that this Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto retrograding together is very interesting. I'm going to tell you why in a minute, because before I do that, I do want to give a mention to the 0 degrees in Taurus energy that we are in presently with the North Node. So the node switch, I think is on the 13th of July. I've been saying the 18th for the longest time, but I just looked it up the other day. I think it's around the 12th or the 13th of July that the nodes switch out of Taurus and Scorpio and into Libra and Aries, where the real balancing in real time is going to take place. This is what this moon is also preparing us for, because with this North Node at 0 degrees Taurus and 0 degrees Scorpio, we are presently in a portal where we get to decide what is our value, what is our net worth divinely, and are we going to move forward knowing that and living that, or are we going to stay tied to situations, people that don't align with our divine net worth? The choice is ours. It's always been ours. But this portal is, if you're ready to be taken into the life that reflects your divine net worth, this 0 degree Scorpio and Taurus, that's what it's facilitating. And all of these energies right now are lining up to help us too, including what's happening with the 777 portal. All of this leading up to Lionsgate, but especially right now. You know, it's July the 3rd, technically. It's 3:44 in the morning, yeah? It's July 3rd. And, you know, from now until the next 10 days, this window, this portal is open. So this is where all the testing's going to come. Do you believe in your own divine net worth? You've been told what it is now. Your parents failed to tell you your divine net worth. Most of you, if you're here, because most of the time they didn't even have the wherewithal to know that's what they were here to do divinely, because they've been a part of the matrix for generations. This is why we were sent, to wake them up. And again, they chose to squander us. Many of you, they chose to squander you, which is why you moved out of those contracts. But now what Cancer is doing, all of this energy, the amniotic waters that are here to program you back into your divine greatness, you've been being shown throughout this process. The revelation has been coming, who you are, what your true divine net worth is, who you are cosmologically. And now you're getting the grand opportunity to bring all of that into Earth and to live it through these 0 degree portals. But the only way through is if you align yourself now with your divine net worth, which means separating yourself from everything that would keep you out of that, or would say otherwise, or would try to drag you below your value. Okay? So, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto retrograding right now together. So Neptune just began retrograding, I want to say yesterday or 2 days ago. And Saturn, I forget, it's been like at least a week. And Pluto's been a while now too. Saturn retrograding is helping us to reflect on, again, the decisions we've made that have gotten us here. So all of us are reflecting in the Saturnian energy of the cause and effect. But the focus right now is based upon the cause and effect of decisions we've made because of our lower emotional resonance. And as such, everyone's getting their ass kicked, even if you are walking in divine alignment. So those beings who are not walking in divine alignment, they're getting their asses kicked emotionally because, you know, they can project and they can deflect all they want, but it still doesn't take away from the pain that their souls are going through as they process this information of how much they have been betrayed, and then instead of alchemizing that energy, chose to do that to others. That's one thing. For those of you in divine alignment, this energy is kicking your ass because it's helping you to see how much you've been living below your worth, how you've accepted so much shit from beings that you never should have accepted. For those of you who are coming into divine unions and it's playing out for you, and you're seeing how this person is nothing like anything you've ever experienced before because they've done the healing work, you're wondering, how did I ever waste my time before on anything less than this? How was I chasing after another being who wouldn't give me the time of day, who I had to constantly prove myself to? And even then they would take no interest in me, and they would purposely hurt me and all this other. How did I waste and squander my time on that? And I'm not saying to stay in that place or live in regret. It's an important thing to see, to feel, to alchemize, and to move on from, because you didn't know at the time. This is why it's so important to recognize when a divine contract has become karmic, because in that state when you were doing that, it was a divine contract because it was a lesson to help you to upgrade. And it was a lesson to help you both to upgrade. But if that person has still chosen not to upgrade, then that treatment that was already unacceptable for them to give you before is definitely unacceptable for you now if you're walking in your Empress or Emperor energy. So this is why this Saturn energy mixed with this Mercury in Cancer is kicking our asses emotionally, because we're seeing the truth. And then Neptune going retrograde now too, where the veils of illusion are also being removed. The veils that Neptune connects us to the dream, right? But Neptune can become delusional because we can attach ourselves to dreams that cannot be grounded in reality for many reasons, but for one reason, because the free will of another person is limiting it. You get what I'm saying? So Neptune removes those delusions. Neptune removes the delusions that you may have had about moving forward with certain people, or people's certain true intentions. Neptune retrograde begins to reveal to us all the ways we have disconnected ourselves from the higher octaves of love and our abilities and opportunities to ground the dream. How many times we've given up, or we've walked astray, or we've walked out of divine alignment, because Neptune is very much connected to our hope. Jupiter is about our faith, and Neptune is about our hope. And how many times we have abandoned self. You get what I'm saying? All of this is coming up, and it's coming up very much in connection again with the way you were emotionally attuned due to parental relationships, with especially spotlight on mother. And then Pluto is coming in now to again, help us to reflect on the contracts of the age, 29 degrees Capricorn, on the contracts of the age that have been designed to keep us bound. It's giving us a look at how to deconstruct and reconstruct if we're ready, or to make the same choice again. But either way, we're being shown what doesn't work, what hasn't worked. Saturn, Neptune, Pluto in retrograde, we're being shown what hasn't worked, what needs to come down, what needs to be tweaked, so that the cause and effect that we're creating moving forward is to our liking, because it's in divine alignment. So that we're able now to connect to the dream and not let go until we ground it into reality. Because now we have the faith and the hope that supports it. And the Pluto showing us how to build again, how to tear down if we have to, in order to rebuild. And an honorable mention, I don't normally go into Lilith and Chiron, but an honorable mention to them, because Lilith is still in Leo, fighting for your victory, 6 of Wands energy. And Chiron is at 19 degrees Aries, which is fighting for your I am truth, the one that the Matrix at every turn wanted to steal from you and keep you wounded so you wouldn't rise into the healer energy. 19 degrees is the 3 of Wands. Constant capping you and keeping you from moving forward, especially spiritually, because the Wands energy deals with spirit, the spiritual plane, and it also deals with ancestry and family, all the ways you and your potential and your ability to rise and expand and to love and to be who you are and to access your joy, all of the ways at every turn it's been capped, and the 19 degrees, they're both sharing 19 degrees. The 19 degree mark, again, double numbers, 19, 19, 11, 11. 19 is connected to the Sun card in the tarot. It's when you return home to self, your truth, because you have recovered through the Leo energy, your heart resonance. You've already gone through Gemini and gotten your mind. Cancer has bridged the gap to help you to reprogram and reattune yourself in order to access your joy and your heart's truth through Leo. So the 19 degrees, the Sun card of the tarot, is you've come home to self. You've recovered all your light. You've recovered all your soul fragments that you lost, to the wounded cycles, to constantly going through the energy harvesting and the sacrificing templates of the narcissistic paradigms of the Matrix. You've recovered it through deep healing work. The Sun is a card of healing and vitality, and you're now able to walk in the fullness of your light. So both Lilith and Chiron are here fighting for your light. Lilith, because Lilith knows what it feels like to be overlooked and to be put in the corner for no good reason other than wanting to be who she was. Right? And Chiron, because Chiron knows what it is to have to sacrifice in order to rise. Chiron knows how to take the wounds that sometimes we've even inflicted upon self and to weave them into a higher reality, here to help us do the same, to recover our light. So Lilith is here to help you tune into your victory, 6 of Wands energy. Chiron is here to help your ships to come in, 3 of Wands energy. Chiron is here fighting. It's Aries energy is connected to Mars. It's spiritual warrior energy. It's connected to your I am truth, who God says you are. Chiron says enough of living below your value and staying stuck in wounded states. It's time for us to move to the other side of no longer alchemizing, but now being alchemist. It's beautiful energy. It really is beautiful. It's powerful. It's inspiring, which is also Aries energy. Aries is the Ace of Wands, the spark of inspiration. 3:55 on my clock, the spark of inspiration, the divine breath, the ruach, is that how you say the ruach? The divine breath that has been given you to take forth and to multiply in your reality, and in doing so, sparking other people's divine spark too. It's beautiful. We're living in I know sometimes that this energy is just so challenging. My gosh, I know. Trust me, I know. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys in the way I talk to you if I didn't know this, but we have to tune into the beauty of what it's producing in us. We have to tune into the beauty of what these fires are not only producing, but they already have, because this new moon in Gemini, it opened the door to rewards and a new season. And this full moon in Capricorn is just kicking the shit out that would try to fuck up that new beginning. That's really what it is. You want it summed up in a sentence? The full moon in Capricorn happening in 8 hours. It's here to kick out all of the energies that would try to fuck up your new beginnings and divine contracts. That's really what it's here to do. And you're here to help assist it. If you choose to do so. Don't hold on to the old shit. That will forfeit you the divine contract that opened up for you in the new moon in Gemini. But anyway, these are the energies that are here astrologically and what they're offering our souls as we move forward in this ascension. So I hope that this breakdown was helpful. I hope it was inspiring. I hope it's shown you the beauty of how you are divinely supported. All of this is for you. All of this is for us. It's amazing, right? So I hope that this reading has helped to tune you into that and helped you to access and ignite deeper passion for who you are and what you've come through and where you're going. Because nothing is ever wasted when you're a divine being who is choosing to walk in divine alignment. Everything that was given to you or thrown at you is ultimately here to be woven into a new and beautiful reality where you get back everything that was taken plus more for your pain. And that's what they don't want you to know. But this is what these energies are facilitating. So please make sure that if this video resonated with you, you do the YouTube thing. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Yes, I'm going to leave you guys here. We are over an hour in. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for all the work you've been doing to, again, open dimensional doorways to help us all heal and rise. I will see you again soon. Happy, happy full moon in Capricorn. Mwah.